Letter 2. A Pen of Poise and Perception. Dear Lady Mary, I hope you will not receive this letter as an intrusion, and that you will forgive my forwardness in writing to you. The wish to express my admiration for your writing has emboldened me to address you directly. I also wish to express the affinity I feel with you after reading the letters you wrote home during your time in Turkey from 1716 to 1718. Please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Catherine Branning, and I am an American woman, a librarian by profession. I share many things in common with you. We both left home when young to live in a foreign land. And we both chose to make our lives abroad for many years. I am married, too. We both believe in the power of education. But most importantly, we share Turkey, as I have spent much time traveling in Turkey over the past 30 years. Like you, I am a letter writer. They are a joy for me to create. I love to see the page cover up with lines, like a bathtub filling with warm water. And I love to sense the slight tension as the pen nib slides over the paper. I choose my epistolary army with attention. Only the finest dense paper or colorful card, a gracefully designed pen of fine manufacture that balances perfectly in my hand, and carefully selected postage stamps full of colorful references to history or subjects I favor. Writing a letter holds such promise and excitement, and in preparing one, I feel as if I am showing the same devotion as when I cook a fine meal for loved ones. I imagine the whole chain of people who touch the letter along its way, the expression on my friend's face when the letter appears in his box, his curiosity as he deciphers those stamps, his expectancy as he picks up the letter opener and slits the envelope seal, and then, hopefully, his delight at reading what I have to tell him. But above all, I suppose I savor most the intimacy that letter writing allows between two people. I suppose I savor most the intimacy that letter writing allows between two people. The possibility of standing as far back or as far forward as one wishes to convey a sentiment. I appreciate how you can hide secret thoughts behind words, or how you can step out in the spotlight with them. Nothing can replace the intimacy that the distance of a letter permits. And you unquestionably had that distance, Lady Mary, between Constantinople and England, between your uncertain new life and the familiar old one you left behind. On the other side of the coin, writing a letter offers great liberty, directness, and energy. Writing a snappy-toned letter also allows me to dispel the melancholy that often plagues me. You wrote 25 letters home from Turkey during that year you were there, which is quite a few, considering you were busy setting up your new household, managing a 4-year-old toddler, and preparing for the birth of your second child. Ever since you wrote those few letters, you have managed to capture the imagination of countless readers and artists, and especially mine, as both a traveler and a writer. Along the way, you have earned the reputation of being one of the finest letter writers of the English language. Some 900 of them have come down to us in print since you first wrote them. Those letters from Turkey, published only after your death, are still read today, serving as a quote mine for travel writers, and feeding much fodder to the postmodern Orientalist and feminist academic paper mills. I have a Turkish friend, a writer himself, who says I remind him of you. Quite a flattering comparison for me indeed. I do not think he meant to assume that I had your same gifts of wit or talent, but I think what he meant to say was that I strive to have the same open and unprejudiced eye to my surroundings as you showed. For that, in my opinion, is what makes your letter writing so distinctive. Not for all those insightful glimpses into the history and daily life of the era that you provide, but for the ease and poise with which you entered into the situation of being a stranger in a different culture. I admire how you reported incidents and facts openly and honestly, never negatively or critically. You were an appreciative tourist and always acted as would a guest in someone else's home. You were never a ruthless scold in your tone, looking down on the Turks as their moral superior. You allowed yourself the liberty to question your own social structure, not that of the Turks, and you never passed prejudiced judgment on them. You understood the true meaning of cross-cultural exchange, especially in your discussions with your tutor, Ahmed, or as he would be known today, Ahmet. You sought out the contrast between Western Europe and Turkey, and contrasts as well within Europe and within Turkey. I also enjoy imagining the personality of the woman I perceive behind those words. You sought with eager curiosity to learn all you could about daily life, from religion to stoves to food. You immersed yourself in your new world and let nothing get in your way of discovering it. I sense that you are a bright and high-spirited woman whose wit and charm always shine brightest in the upbeat endings to your letters. Your letters provide indications that you can be both strong-willed and warm-hearted, depending on the situation. And such exciting letters you wrote home from Turkey, Lady Mary. I am always surprised that so many travelers to Turkey, at centuries distant, encounter and grapple with the same issues, misunderstandings, and frustrations. We seem all to be struck by the same things, whether it be you, the bumbling military adventurers of the 19th century, or the moderns of the late 20th century. Some things just never change. Some conflicts never find resolution. So many questions still remain unanswered. When I look at my experiences and see how much they echo in your own, I feel a connection with you. You were determined to make the best of every situation, to enjoy life, and to get the most from every personal encounter. I try to imagine how you reacted to everyday incidents, how you dealt with all the misunderstandings and confusion while keeping such a clear, non-judgmental head. But you did, with ease and grace, never simpering or complaining, and I have always admired that in you. I have tried to adopt the same open-eyed approach in both my work and in my travels. But as both an insider and an outsider, it is impossible for me to see anything truly clearly. The insider in me wishes to be included, and thus has a tendency to gloss over any difficulties. And the outsider in me is full of potential prejudice and imperialism. And so in the end, when I travel, I try to apply the same strategy that guides me in my profession as a librarian. I collect information, I organize it, and I diffuse it. I try not to interpret it, I do not edit it, I just diffuse it. Or so I try. As you yourself said in your letter from Ratisbon, 'tis prudent to remain neuter. Or once again from Vienna, gallantry and good breeding are as different in different climates as morality and religion. Who have the rightest notions we shall never know till the day of judgment. I am certain you are nodding your head and smiling at many of my comments, already felt by you 290 years before me. But long live this continuum, this constant, eternal search for understanding, the comparison and the challenge. The cultures of the world have much to share and to gain from each other. And in the end, we can perhaps learn how to better participate in this unchained movement of humanity towards a society of understanding, respect, and peace. It can all start with writing a letter, don't you think? So will you allow me to write you? It would give me much pleasure to share with you of my impressions of a country that is mutually dear to both of us. I hope that you will enjoy hearing details about Turkey of the late 20th century. You will be reassured to know that so many of the values and sights you so admired have remained unchanged. But you will also be pleased to see how the country and its people have evolved and grown. It is perhaps people like you who have helped to promote that growth by showing Turks that the West and its citizens can be as generous and kind as they are. Sincerely yours, Catherine Branning.